Fincantieri is one of the world's largest shipbuilding groups. And today we have the chairperson and the MD of the very group, Mr. Folgiero. Welcome to India, very
Thank you.
firstly. And, we're first speaking of the ties, the defense partnerships between India and Italy, and how Fincantieri can be contributing towards these very ties in terms of maritime security, especially when we speak of the Indo-Pacific region.
But it's a great pleasure to come to Resina Dialogue. I strongly believe that we are at the beginning of a new era of collaboration. Fincantieri knows India shipbuilding because we have been collaborating on certain specific scope of works, on certain specific components. But now it's time to change scale. It's time to gear up. It's time to gain traction. We are very interested in this new idea of having a kind of renaissance of shipbuilding. This is exactly what we are here for. We believe that there are areas of technological areas in which we can strengthen the collaboration, and I believe we can be good long-term partner for the country.
So, you speak of collaborations, and with Fincantieri's recent acquisitions, be it of Leonardo's underwater business, as well as its collaboration with Sparkle as well on the submarine cable protection, what would you say? How are we looking at collaborations with partners in India at this point?
But the underwater, it's a new domain. It's a very strategic domain, and it's as well a geopolitical domain. Underwater capabilities in the doctrine, in the naval doctrine of the future, will be more and more important. And underwater in general will be an acceleration of artificial intelligence at sea, for example. Or underwater telecommunications will be an enabler which will make the difference in the future. So this is an area in which Fincantieri is being focusing a lot. You mentioned the creation of a champion, putting together Fincantieri expertise in submarine, along with the Leonardo expertise in electronics and armament system. As of today, those two elements are joined together. And we are thinking of a roadmap of new products and new solutions for the underwater of the future. You mentioned also our partnership with Sparkle. Sparkle being an international leader in managing telecom underwater cables. That is another frontier for new technologies. New cables can be a kind of sensors, so can be an instrument also for passive and active defense of seabeds. Our vision for underwater is to put together new solutions, starting from drones, also different surface ships managing underwater operations, but also the creation of an ecosystem of new vessels, smaller submarines also, drones of 9 meters, manned and unmanned, drones of 3 meters for patrolling of critical infrastructure. So there is a full array of new solutions. We would be more than happy to join forces with the Indian ecosystem and to jointly develop solutions that will create intimacy among Italy and the Indian space.
Definitely, underwater technologies are gaining more importance at this given point. But having said that, you've spoken about how, in the past as well, how the Indian market is an expanding market. That you see potential here. What would you say? How can Fincantieri at this given point, what specific areas of expertise can it provide to Indian competitors as well, or Indian partners as well, so that they compete better in this very sector?
But I believe India has the three typical dimensions of shipbuilding. First of all, you need engineering capacity. So you need to have a kind of ability to put together engineers and to focus them on naval challenges. The second characteristic of India is the availability of supply chain and is the ability to go for manufacturing and fabrication of key components of the ship, because the ship is made of a hull that need to be engineered, but the ship is also a combination of several subsystems that need to be manufactured separately. So availability of engineers, availability of supply chain and fabrication and manufacturing, and point number three, labor. Labor meaning availability of workers, skilled workers for shipbuilding to happen. All those three key elements are somehow accelerated by domestic demand, which is remarkable because there is a long-term vision of the country to become one of the most prominent shipbuilders in the world. And I believe that once this vision is fulfilled, manufacturing power of India can be also exploited in terms of export. In general, Western countries need to reindustrialize. And this new era of collaboration between Italy and India, and more in general, a kind of framework of collaboration, such as IMEC, for example, can be a kind of long-term channel of, I would say, reciprocal support, even in terms of reindustrialization of Western countries.
So we are looking at more collaborations and strategic partnerships at this given point. When we speak of India and Italy's defense ties, I have one last question for you. We in India have a vision. Our Prime Minister has this vision for an Aatmanirbhar Bharat, which is path towards self-reliance, right? So under those circumstances, what would you have to say, Fincantieri, the best practices of Fincantieri, how can they contribute towards this very vision of India?
But let me say that we are one of the few shipbuilders in the world accustomed to localize, accustomed to reproduce themselves locally with the concept of regionalization. And we did it, during our history several times. And heavy industry is not an industry of fast track evolution. Heavy industry, by definition, since it is heavy, it is slow in terms of biorhythms. So our attitude of regionalization, it is something that is fitting very well with the vision of creating self-reliance in India. And again, I believe that this kind of strategy is viable in general, but in particular when you have the underlying ingredients, which are, condition precedent for any regionalization to happen. And again, the availability of engineers, the availability of suppliers in terms of fabrication and manufacturing of components, plus the availability of workers, makes this strategy absolutely interesting to us and viable. Obviously, it's a matter of getting along. Again, no magics, no magic sticks and wands. It's a step-by-step project. It's a step-by-step process, and we feel ready to incur this journey.
Right. Before I let you go, Mr. Folgiero, I would want to ask you this. Since you are here visiting India, what all have been the highlights of your journey in the terms that what all have you been able to experience and what all are you looking forward to in whatever little time you have remaining here for the Rise in a Dialogue 2025?
So which are my expectations for this visit here?
Food, places, anything particular in your to-do list that you still have or you've already enjoyed on this trip?
But first of all, I have a lot of experience here in India because I spent, many business trips here. It is never enough. It is never enough. And you know, business trips are by definition leaving you with a lot of missing parts. So it's good to will be very good to be here again and fill those gaps.
Absolutely. Any specific food that is your favorite and you always keep coming back to that here?
Come on, we love Indian food. By definition, it's a cuisine that is also exported to Italy. But you know, whenever you come to India, you eat something that is totally different, totally different. So even a very well-known dish, but with the right ingredient in the mother country, has a totally different taste.
Absolutely.